Hi friends, it's Katya. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a TBR jar for the month of August. If you guys haven't seen one of my rainbow TBR jars before, basically what I usually do is pick paint swatch colors out of my little Snoopy mug, and I use those colors to decide what books I'm going to read. And the main goal is making sure that these colors are each represented in a different book that I read for August. August is also my birthday month, so I'm hoping that I can read some good things, some new favorites, maybe reread some old favorites, but let's just get right on into it and start picking some colors. I feel like July was such a really good month for the rainbow TBR jar. I finished all the books that I chose from that TBR, or like I finished all the colors by mid-July, and for the most part I did enjoy all of the books that I picked last month, so you guys will see my reactions to that later in my wrap-up, but I'm hoping that I'll have some similar success this month. But I'm gonna shut up and just and just pick a color. Okay. Real Red. My bookshelf is not super well organized, but most of my like to be read are on this like far square of a shelf, and then there's a few kind of scattered around that didn't fit on that shelf that are also on my TBR. And then on the other side of the room I also have my recent library loans, which actually I might just grab so that they can be like more easily accessible. And I think I might have like a little bit of red in this stack. I have David Brooks' How to Know a Person. This is a nonfiction that I actually just recently started reading. The red is not like an exact match, but I feel like it's relatively close. I know it's always hard to tell with the shiny library cover, but this is sort of a psychology, sociology, like how people interact with one another sort of book. There's one skill that lies at the heart of any healthy person, family, school, community, organization, or society: the ability to see someone else deeply and make them feel seen, to accurately know another person, to make them feel valued, heard, and understood. Yet we as humans don't always do this well. This kind of topic has always really fascinated me. I think as somebody who grew up a very shy child who dealt with some like social anxiety and took a long time to get over that and get better at it, learning about what makes successful connections is just something that I love to learn about. And I'm hoping from this book that it has real data and like scientific analysis of people's social interactions, more like psychology, neuroscience things, rather than a sort of self-helpy sort of thing, because a lot of times I think something feeling self-help makes me lose interest really quickly. But we'll see how that goes. This will be one potential pick for Real Red. Recently picked up Anatomy from the library. This book follows our main character Hazel, who wants nothing more than to be a surgeon. However, since it's the olden days, I don't really know what time period this takes place in exactly, but it's old enough that women are not allowed to be doctors, so she's kicked out of the medical training program that she is trying to be a part of. And because she still wants to learn, she ends up studying corpses. She ends up meeting Jack, who apparently digs up corpses for a living. I like that this seems a little bit dark. I think it'll be a good transition from summer into fall, so I could see myself waiting for this towards the end of the month or maybe into September, but that is another option as well. There is a nonfiction that's been sitting on my shelf for a very long time. This is The Library Book by Susan Orlean, which funny enough I bought in a library book sale for like $2. This, as you might be able to guess from the title, is a book about libraries, brimming with signature wit, insight, compassion, and talent for deep research. We love. The Library Book is a thrilling journey through the stacks that reveals just how these beloved institutions provide much more than books. Perhaps especially in the digital era, they are more necessary than ever. That just makes me so excited. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm actually in a dual degree program where I'm going to be getting my law degree as well as master's in library science. My first year of school, I was only able to take law classes because the first year law student schedule is like very strict about what kinds of classes you're taking. But this upcoming fall semester, I'm going to be able to start taking some information science classes as well, and I can't wait to read this book and learn more about libraries. Time to pick another color. I'll try not to shuffle quite as much this time. I feel like last time I was talking for so long. Okay, what is this? Rosé. It's called Rosé, but in person I think it looks a little bit purplish. This is not an exact match, but it is another nonfiction that I would really like to read soon. This is a book by Questlove, a perceptive and personal reflection on the first half century of hip-hop. This is kind of about the history of hip-hop music as a genre, which I think is really interesting. I also love that it is apparently approached with both the encyclopedic fluency of an obsessive fan and the unique expertise of an innovative participant. Hip-hop is history and also his history, meaning Questlove. So I think that this could be really interesting. Hip-hop is a genre that I like sometimes listen to, but it's not always my go-to. So in terms of its history, I don't feel super well versed. So I think this could be entertaining and informative. I also have This Motherless Land as an option. This was an ARC sent to me by Mariner Books, so thank you so much. This is a Mansfield Park retelling, which is very fun to me. I love Jane Austen, but Mansfield Park is one of the few books that I've not read from her yet. I believe it's the only of her like finished novels that I've not read yet. So hopefully that doesn't make it difficult for me to understand what's going on. This book has been compared to Black Cake and Banyan Moon, which are two books that I really loved in that it's an emotional family drama. I also really love that a big portion of this book is focused on friendship and platonic love, because I think that is so important, and so maybe this will be a book that I will get to this month as well. All right, my third color will be After the Rain, a blue. I do have this blue book that I know I'm definitely going to read. This is House of Sky and Breath, the Crescent City sequel to House of Earth and Blood. I was hoping to read this last month, but I didn't end up getting to it because I'm reading this for book club with my friend Chloe. We call it book club, but it's really just us buddy reading. And so sometimes it's tricky to predict when exactly our library holds will come in at the same time. Unfortunately, last month my copy came in much more quickly than we anticipated, and hers didn't come in for weeks, but now she's at the front of her line and I returned the book and then rechecked it out. So hopefully this will work out timing wise for us to be able to read this together in August. This is the sequel to an urban fantasy series, which I really enjoyed the first book of, much more than I expected, because I can sometimes have mixed opinions on Sarah J Maas, but I enjoyed House of Earth and Blood and I'm looking forward to seeing where the characters go in this book. I actually have a couple more blue books as options that I recently got from the library. I have Next to You by Hannah Bonham Young. This book is about two friends battling feelings for each other as they work together to renovate a school bus into a home. I don't really know if this book is something that would have appealed to me just out of nowhere, but this author wrote Out on a Limb, which was one of my favorite romances I read last year, maybe one of my favorite romances just ever. I've been interested to pick up more of her books, so I think that this might be a good place to continue. And then I also have Past, Present, Future, which is the sequel to Today, Tonight, Tomorrow, which is one of my favorite young adult rom-coms. This book follows those two characters from the first book, but now they're in college and they're navigating a long-distance relationship. Rowan is in Boston, eager to be among other aspiring novelists, and Neil is in New York, embracing the chaos of the city and clicking with a new friend group. I particularly enjoyed the dynamic between Rowan and Neil, so I think it'll be interesting to see them now that they're actually in a relationship and dealing with real relationship struggles. The dialogue and the banter in that first book is just absolutely unmatched. I think it takes such talent to write really good dialogue, to write really cute, swoon-worthy, not cringy dialogue. That was one of my favorite things about Today, Tonight, Tomorrow. I absolutely flew through it, so I'm hoping that the same will be the case for this book. 3 colors so far. Let's pick our 4th. Pink Flamingo. I actually don't know if I have a lot of pink books right now, or at least ones that I haven't already read. I do have Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. I love Talia Hibbert. I think she is such a talented romance writer, and this was her foray into YA romance. I did start this book. I think I got a couple of chapters in and just got distracted by other things that I was reading at the time, but I don't really remember anything about it, so I think I would have to start from the beginning anyway. This book follows Bradley and Celine, who used to be best friends until Brad decided he was too cool for conspiracy theory obsessed Celine. They end up both signing up for a 2-part survival course in the woods, and they're forced to work together for the grand prize while also sort of reconnecting and figuring out why their friendship fell apart. Like I said, in the past I've really enjoyed Talia Hibbert's writing, so I'm intrigued to try this again. I also really love that there's supposed to be OCD representation in this book, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that is explored and handled. I do also have this pink book, which was recently added to my collection, You and Me on Vacation. This is the UK version of People We Meet on Vacation, which is, this is one of my favorite books of all time ever, and I keep meaning to reread it, but I think it might be fun to read this version because I have heard that it is slightly different. I thought it was so nice. My parents were on vacation in Europe at the beginning of the summer and they picked this up for me because I love People We Meet on Vacation so much. So this might be another option for this month. I think that rereading a book that I really love could be really fun during my birthday month, kind of treat myself to reconnecting with these characters who make me feel so understood. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 colors so far. I'm gonna pick one more. Citronella, this beautiful chartreuse color. I think this actually looks, this is kind of a perfect match for Heidi by Joanna Spyri. This was mostly just a cover buy. I think this is so beautiful. It was a part of the Rifle Paper Company collection, which also has Anne of Green Gables and Little Women. These are some of like my favorite editions of books that I own. I've read Little Women, 5 stars, love it. Read Anne of Green Gables, love it. So I'm hoping that that means that I will enjoy the other books that are in this collection as well, including Heidi. However, there's not really any sort of description of what this book is about, either on any like of the inside flap or on the back. We just have a quote. It says, Heidi looked around with growing delight at the mountain peaks she knew so well and which seemed to greet her like old friends. So I guess it's about a young girl growing up in the mountains. I don't know. I'm hoping that it's cozy and sweet, and it is such a perfect match for this color. I don't even feel like I should pick another book. To review the TBR, I have Citronella, this beautiful chartreuse color, which is a perfect match for Heidi. For After the Rain, this blue color, I'll be picking between Next to You, Past, Present, Future, and House of Sky and Breath. For Pink Flamingo, I have Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute and You and Me on Vacation. For Rosé, I'm going to read either This Motherless Land or Hip Hop is History. And finally, for Real Red, I'm going to be reading the library book, How to Know a Person, or Anatomy. And one more time, these are my colors. Thank you so much for watching this video and for spending time with me. I really appreciate you. Please let me know down below what books you're hoping to read during the month of August. I would love to know. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click the bell to be notified of the next time I post, and I'll see you in my next video.